Jesus. I tell you what, George wasn't kidding. These are definitely your nan's couch. Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. If you're new around here, my name is Aidan, and as you can see from the title, we have yet again another Air Max 1 pickup. So in today's review, we will be taking a look at the recently released Nike Air Max 1 in the Baltic Blue colourway. Something that's actually a little bit different to every other Air Max 1 we've actually reviewed this month and even this year. And there's been a lot of Air Max 1 releases this month, so this was definitely something I had to get my hands on. I had to bring you guys a review for. And even though it's somewhat been forgotten due to all the other Air Maxes that are coming out and the fact that Air Max Day is only a few days away as I'm doing this video right now, I personally am really excited about this one and I hope you guys are as well. So without any further ado, just sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and get straight into this video. So first things first, just like we always do, before we take a look at the shoes, let's just get this off with the packaging. And the box itself is just your regular run-of-the-mill red Nike sportswear box. So if you've seen one, you've seen them all. Now if we do just take a quick look at the label, which reads, we have the Nike Air Max 1 PRM, and this is in the Baltic Blue Sesame Gridiron colorway, if I'm saying that correctly, I'm not quite sure. Now that is the size label for anyone who wants to actually check that out. Pause the video there if you did want to take a closer look. That's how it should look. And then outside of that, if we do open up the box itself, on the inside, as always, just your pretty standard tissue paper. But then underneath that, we have what we came for. So let's go ahead and get straight into the shoes. So without any further ado, the moment we've all been waiting for, in hand we have the Nike Air Max 1 Corduroy in the Baltic Blue colourway. A little bit of a mouthful, but there we go. Now this is definitely a shoe that I was really interested in from the very get-go. I was a little bit dubious as to whether this was something I needed for the personal collection. I think I may have even said in a previous video as well that I wasn't going for these. But considering I saw them sitting on shelves and they're actually sitting on every single major online retailer as well, I thought it'd be rude to not at least get them in hand and be able to bring you guys a review. Now this shoe is definitely very, very different to every other Air Max 1 we've seen this month, and we've seen a bunch of Air Max 1 releases this month, so that's definitely a very difficult thing to do, especially with all these other releases, and being the fact that it's Air Max week, you know, Air Max Day is fast approaching. I feel like a lot of people have kind of forgotten about these already, and this might be one of those cases where people will be kind of going back for these kind of after March is finished and people have a little bit more money in the bank. Nike is definitely aiming for all of our wallets with all of these releases, so if you are a hardcore Air Max 1 fan, I definitely do sympathise with your bank balance after this month because it's been absolutely mental.
I've got nothing left! I've got nothing left!
Now, if you are tuning into this video today to decide if this is something you want for your own personal collection, in this review, I'm going to be telling you everything that you need to know, from materials through to sizing, so by the end of this video, you can decide for yourself whether this is something you're going to add to your personal collection as well. So just diving straight into this one, starting out with the upper to begin with, and unlike your traditional Air Max 1 release, we do actually see a pretty drastic overhaul as far as the uppers are concerned, consisting of only one main source material on the upper, which is this Baltic Blue corduroy. It honestly isn't every day that we do actually see an entire corduroy design actually dominating the vast majority of the upper of the shoe itself. Now the only other occasion that really springs to mind for me personally is of course the Sean Wotherspoon 197s, but even in that instance it was very different as it was a hybrid model on a collaboration, so of course the look and the feel is very different to what we're seeing with these Baltic Blues. When I first heard that it was actually going to be entirely corduroy, I immediately dismissed it. Corduroy to me is something that's used more of an accent to add something a little bit different to a shoe, but to design an entire upper using just one main source material, I will be honest, at first, like I said, I dismissed it, but the more I've seen of it, the more I've really been intrigued to really get these in hand. Now, I've never personally owned anything even remotely similar to this, so I'm definitely going into this one fresh, have no real expectations as to what is or what isn't a good corduroy material. All I can really say is that the quality of the corduroy they're actually using on this shoe was actually pretty surprising. Now, from the front to the back of the shoe itself, we do have both vertical and horizontal paneling to make sure that the core of the Air Max 1 remains intact. So from the toe box to the mudguard to the U-throat, even to the quarter midfoot panel and beyond, we do actually see really nice paneling all the way throughout the shoe itself. Now, as far as the actual corduroy material is concerned, I will be honest, I can see why George actually referred to these as your nan's couch, because it feels like a couch is probably the best way I can really describe it. It's very interesting, it's different, it's weird, it's just everything you'd expect it to probably be. I really don't know if I love it or hate it. I'm really on the fence at the minute. It has a really nice soft feel to it, but it also has a really good structure to maintain that Air Max 1 look and feel. So overall, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either, so I'm kind of somewhere there in the middle. I do feel like the colourway choice was an excellent choice. This Baltic Blue is very vibrant, it's really bright, it's really nice for summer. But I do kind of worry, considering that this is kind of aimed and geared towards the summer months. Is this going to be ventilated enough? Is this going to make your feet cook and overheat? I guess only really time will tell with this one, but I do feel like just based off initial impressions, the colourway is excellent, 10 out of 10 colourway, but as far as the materials are concerned, again, I am a little bit on the fence for that. Now, when it comes to the Nike swoosh, we do still have that corduroy material, but this time it has actually been done in this really nice sesame colour to give a really nice pop to the shoe itself. Now again, both the ankle collar as well as the heel is the exact same construction as we've seen throughout the rest of the upper with that Baltic Blue corduroy, but again, to add a really nice accent to the shoe, in the middle of the heel we do have this black embroidered Nike branding. Looks very nice as always, maybe even more so with this corduroy backdrop. I do personally feel like that Nike is looking really, really nice in my opinion. Now, when it does come to the lacing options for this one, we do actually get two different options. Now, the laces that come in the shoe to begin with are in that exact same Baltic Blue colour, and the laces are just of your pretty standard flat shoelace. Now, if you did want to swap it out and actually make things a little bit more interesting, we do also get some sesame coloured laces. I personally feel like that's the way that I would go. I would definitely swap that out. I just think overall, adding a little bit more colour to the shoe is definitely going to be in your best interest. If you're not really feeling these, maybe go for a sail lace swap or a white lace swap. Whatever you're feeling at the time you're doing the lace swap, go with whatever you think. But I do personally feel like these sesame laces would be the way that I would go. And then beneath the laces themselves, we do actually have more of that corduroy material making up the main body of the tongue as well. And as we then work our way up to the top of the tongue, we do have more sesame coloured accents with this sesame coloured tongue tag. And then in the middle of the tongue tag itself, we do have that black Nike Air Max branding. Very nice indeed. But as we then begin to work our way onto the inside of the shoe, we do actually see a really nice black satin sock liner. I will be honest, I'm not entirely sure if it is actually satin material, but it's giving off a satin vibe, so that's just what I'm going to go with. And I do feel like overall, the padding and the overall feel of the sock liner itself, you'll have absolutely nothing to worry about there. And as we then continue to work our way even further onto the inside of the shoe, we do have your pretty standard all black insole, and it does also feature that Baltic Blue Nike Air branding, very nice indeed. And then just to close that in terms of the details, as we do work our way down to the midsole, we do have a polyurethane midsole with that visible air unit towards the heel, and the midsole itself has been painted in this really nice sail colour. From there, as we then work our way onto the outsole, we do have your traditional Air Max 1 style of outsole with that waffle design, and it has been done using this really nice black or navy colour. And then when it does come to the overall sizing for these, I just went true to size with my natural true to size fit, which is a UK size 9. Unfortunately enough for me, even though I've never had a shoe even remotely similar to this shoe does fit like any other Air Max 1, so I am just going to suggest you just go with your natural true to size fit in whatever you would typically wear with Air Max 1s. If you've never owned a pair of these before, fortunately enough they are sitting at pretty much every single major retailer, so it is always best to actually try before you buy, but outside of that, just going true to size, you're going to be absolutely fine. And then other than that, we've covered everything that you need to know from materials through to sizing, so if we now just go ahead and just wrap up this video. So just to wrap up this video so you guys can get out of here, in terms of overall opinion on the shoe itself, to give these a rating, I'm going to say they are a very solid 7 out of 10. Definitely a lot about this shoe that I'm sure a lot of people will like, from the really vibrant colourway to the corduroy, if that's something you do like. I do feel like overall, as far as Air Max 1s are concerned, this is a really nice option to have. For me personally though, I don't feel like this is a shoe that's going to stick around my collection. I just don't feel like it's ever a shoe that I would ever really opt for against all my other Air Max 1s I've already got in the collection. For example, if it's really hot outside, I probably don't want to wear these. If there's any chance of rain, I definitely couldn't wear these because one puddle, it would be over for this shoe. So I feel like overall, the cost to win ratio is just outweighing it, and it's just making me feel like, especially at the new higher price point of £155, this just isn't a shoe that I feel like I've got to get, especially with all the other Air Max 1s that are already coming out. So reluctantly, for the very first time in a very long while, I do actually feel like I will be letting this one go, and I don't feel like it'd be sticking around the collection for any real time. I just feel like this isn't necessarily one for me. Now, outside of that, that's pretty much all I really have to say about it. I would love to get your guys' opinion on it as well. So do let me know what you think of my rating. Let me know what yours is as well. And any other thoughts, do make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And if you have stuck around to this point in the video, as always, I do just want to say a massive thank you. If you haven't already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one. Peace.